Now we are on the way to the Laguna Cuicocha, which is quite close to Quito, and we can do some trekking there. It is already quite high up in the mountains, I think average 3,200 up to 3,500 meters above sea level. And today, I don't know if we do it today or tomorrow, we are going to trek around that laguna, which is around 12 kilometers. So I think we have to be prepared a little bit. Usually 12 kilometers is not that much to hike, but it's on a height of 3,500 meters, so I expect it to be a bit tiring. We'll see. First we go there, install on the campground, and then we see what's up. Yeah, man. What are you cooking today?
Fried rice.
Fried rice. Chicken with what inside?
Chicken with kale, carrots and onion.
Hey, you noticed the height here, huh?
My heart beating so fast.
Yeah. 3,300 meters above sea level. Keen to know how it is tomorrow, that trek, huh? We do it tomorrow. Today is already too late. It's 2 o'clock, 2:30. That takes about 4 hours, I guess.
Yeah, we do it tomorrow.
We do it tomorrow. Let's see, huh? But that gotta be nice, man. Here we are now on the hike around the Laguna Cuicocha, the guinea pig lake in English. They say the lake has a shape of a guinea pig. Now that hike is about 12-13 kilometers, should take roughly 3 to 4 hours, but we have to take care a bit. We are already now on a height of roughly 3,400 meters above sea level, and I think it goes on 3,600 or even a little bit higher. Let's see. But I already notice the air is quite thin up here. Oh, not even half the way and 3/4 done already. Wow, what a beauty, this caldera. Incredible. What do you think, too?
Beautiful and tired. Where did we start?
Yeah, I tried to figure out, but it's somewhere over there. I think we underestimated a bit that hike here. We just took one banana with us. We're already a little bit hungry and we ate it now. So, and I think we are roughly halfway now. But I think the altitude, that makes a huge difference here. That makes the difference of being tired and needing more energy. but the landscape, so beautiful, man. Wow. We nearly did it. The whole round around the Laguna Cuicocha. But we clearly underestimated it. It's not the distance, 12 kilometers walking, that's okay. But it's the height we underestimated. I'm completely done. No more energy. Got cramps in my legs. Man, it's time to come back to the camping. About 1 kilometer. Completely done. We are just leaving that region of the Laguna Cuicocha. What a beautiful place. We really enjoyed being there. It's a little village, an indigenous community, very nice people.
So cozy.
Indeed, so cozy. And a funny story. Well, okay, funny.
I just said you want to call. No, it's not funny.
It's not funny somehow, but you decide if it is funny. I tell you that story. At the entrance of that village is a huge sign saying "Ladrón cogido será quemado." Quote, thief will be burned. And when I saw that first, I thought, what does that mean? Then Manuel, the owner of the camping there, told me the story about, he said 2 years ago, they had a huge group of thieves coming to the village and they stole cattle. They came with a truck and several people with motorbikes, and at night the villagers caught them, and they were so angry that they set the truck in fire with the chauffeur, the thief, inside. So they are not kidding around, man. If you are foreign there, maybe don't get too close to their cattle, okay? So we have reached Quito, the capital of Ecuador. And here around the corner is La Mitad del Mundo, the middle of the earth. Means we are on the equator. Everything south from Quito is the southern hemisphere of our world. A completely new stage of our trip. Yeah, man. That's like Alice in Wonderland. Right? This is Mindo Lindo, a private nature reserve close to the little town Mindo. That is so beautiful, so amazing, this jungle. I think last time we saw something like this in Costa Rica, innit? Tremendous jungle.
Dense forest.
That's unbelievable. Everything humid and rainy. There are birds around. There are plants and flowers and fruits. Haven't seen such things in my life. Haven't seen much of Ecuador yet, but already now that's incredible, the nature beauty, and so diverse from this snow-covered mountain to tropical rainforests, everything here. That's amazing, that country. Love it. And up here is the tower, look. Let's go and have a look up there. Those ferns are incredible. Some are over 10 meters high. Wow, and all those birds. Can't see them, but you hear them everywhere.
You see even that tree so high, but very dense colors.
Yeah, full of flowers. That is holy, man.
This is holy, man.
Yeah, man. Take care, man. That's deep here. Cheese made from a Swiss here. Josef Dubach from Switzerland founded here that cheese shop. Yeah, man. So we get enough cheese now for, let's say, 3 days. Here we are in a piece of forest of the Mindo Cloud Forest Foundation in the little village Milpe. Wow, do they have birds here and such a lot of colibris. Man, are they cute.
I love them.
Since a couple of days now we are in Quito, the capital of Ecuador. Looks like a city that never sleeps. 24/7 there is traffic and stuff going on. Actually we wanted to visit here the Old Town, highly recommended, but things turned out a little bit different. 2 hours after our arrival here, I found myself in the emergency room of a hospital. But first we are going to finish the brekkie after I tell you that story. Yeah, man. That's quite a strange fruit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of passion fruit, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How's the taste?
Passion fruit, but smell a little bit like pomelo.
So here comes now the story how I end up in the emergency room of a hospital. When we arrived to the camp, we went up to a small village. There are a couple of shops. I wanted to buy some drinks. So we get some chips, some Coke and stuff like this, and we walked back. And out of the nowhere came a huge white dog and bite me in the tight, but really deep. In the hospital they told me one tooth of that dog went about 2.5–3 centimeters into the tight.
Must be a long teeth.
That was painful, I tell you. So they had to wash out the wound, give me antibiotica, because the dangerous thing is that this makes a sepsis, a blood infection, and no one wants that. And now I have to take for 5 days antibiotica. Look at that huge pill, man. Half a meal.
Luckily the dog is vaccinated.
Yeah, the dog is vaccinated against rabies, and that is quite important because right in the hospital, the first thing they told me, there is in all Ecuador not one rabies vaccine available. There's a shortage in all Ecuador. So what's coming up next on our trip? Now, we just visit the old town of Quito, then we are going further south, we are going to visit the volcano Cotopaxi, the other volcano Chimborazo. There we can go up to 4,850 meters above sea level with our car. Another 150 meters up, gonna be on 5,000. Welcome to one of the most charming cities in Ecuador. Quito lies nearly on 3,000 meters above the sea level, and it isn't that big that it scares us away. And it is simply nice to get lost in the streets of that old town, enter here and there a doorway, and you find yourself in a hidden courtyard with beautiful restaurants.
Tu rico mote con chicharrón.
The Crown Plaza in the center is simply beauty and full of life. It is not only a plaza, it is like Quito's living room where locals gather and street vendors sell their products. We are just leaving Quito and drive to the Cotopaxi National Park. The road is a bit rough, but that's fun, man. We stayed a full week in Quito, not because we planned to stay a full week. We did it because we want to be sure that this dog bite, watch the last episode, was well healed. Because in Quito you have very good medical services, while out here in the countryside there is close to nothing available. We stayed in Quito on the Coda Vista campground, and man, is that a beautiful place. And the owners, Andy and Gabi, they really run that place very well. They're very friendly people, helpful. If you have a problem, they help you immediately. And the best thing is that view from the campground. Wow, that is so beautiful, man. The big advantage is you are in the capital, but you're not in the city. You're above the city. So if you travel to Pan Am and you cross Quito, don't miss that place, I tell you. Go there, camp a few days, visit Quito. Simply perfect. Yeah, man. So we made it into the Cotopaxi National Park. And what a mountain, nearly 5,900 meters high. That is insane. We are here at the foot of the mountain and we are on a height of 3,900 meters. Now actually we plan to drive up to the parking lot and then maybe walk up to the Refugio, which is nearly on 5,000. But they told us, the ranger told us, you have to be on the camping at 5 o'clock, then they close it. And it's already 2:30, so for today, anyway, it's Sunday, such a lot of people here on the road. We go first to the camping. Tomorrow morning we drive up that mountain and see what's up here. Really looking forward to that. Now actually from this point here we have an awesome view to the volcano Cotopaxi, nearly 6,000 meters high. And as already told, our plan is drive up minimum to the parking lot of 4,600 meters and something. But is it really worth to go up there now? Oh, there is actually some hope, as there are some holes in the fog, and further up we can see at least a little bit blue sky. So we just crossed 4,000 meters height. Never did that so far on our trip. That's a new height record of our trip. So we are getting up to 4,400. Still about 280 missing. The car here, he does well, but I have to use low gear 2, maximum low gear 3 to get up here. That's it. But it does it well. It does it well. The height, yeah, we can feel the height seriously, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's somehow a bit numb in the head. Hope we can see something up there. As it looks, we are getting into serious fog now.
Very thick.
But it's an adventure. Never been so high with that car so far. Look up there, it's snow. That's new snow from this morning, huh? It's amazing, despite the weather, there are quite some people up here. Wanna go up to the Refugio? Have you seen up there?
Yeah, yes, we are here already, so why not?
That's about an hour to go up there, nearly 5,000 meters.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think I'm gonna die. It's tough, man. doesn't look good. Worries me a bit. Oh, how are you?
Yeah, I noticed. Got a little bit headache and my heart pumping like dum 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 dum.
We are getting closer. 100 meters height is missing. But man, that's tough. $4,837 meters above sea level. Ah man, we nearly did it.
I'm still survive.
Good. So here we are in the Refugio del Cotopaxi and we drink té de coca. Yes, you heard well, coca. That was tough, huh? That was tough up here. And we still have to go down. It's snowy now, look. Snowfall.
It's good to be up here.
Yeah, definitely.
Never been such height.
We did it, yeah man. After 2 té de coca, 2 sandwichitos in 2 chocolate de altura, we are full of energy and go down to the car. Walking down, quite some snowfall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, so there is the car. Soon we are back to our home. That was not well worth to come up here despite the rough weather in it. Huh? First I thought when we were down there in the fog, is it worth to come up here? It is really worth. That was now fantastic, to be honest. Love it. We are just leaving the region of the Cotopaxi. Man, that was awesome yesterday. Huh?
Yeah, it was.
A unique experience here. We are in the equator and we've been up in the high mountains in snow and wind. Wow. The night we have spent down in the valley, still over 3,000 meter high on a hacienda. Cozy place, we loved it there. And now we are on the way to our next adventure, the Laguna Cuicocha, which is also a volcanic crater with a beautiful lake in it. We want to hike around that too. Looking forward to that, but now we are driving here to an awesome landscape that is so beautiful, man.
Somehow looks like the Alps.
Yeah, looks like in the Alps and still completely different. is the Laguna Cuicocha, and like the Laguna Cuicocha, also a volcanic crater. Actually, we have planned to walk around it, but to be honest, some sections they look really a bit stiff, in my opinion, a bit dangerous, more because we are nearly in 4,000 meters height, 3,800 to be precise, and then the concentration is not so good, one gets tired, so we don't take a risk. Now, we go up there to that little village and have lunch. Jill wants to eat a guinea pig.
A kui kui.
Here it is, the kui. We're still smoking. Poor little fucker.
To eat.
Yeah, turn it on the belly. So, how is it?
Similar to a little bit like chicken, but less meat. Nothing much to eat.
So we tried it, but I think once is enough, isn't it? We are on the way to our next adventure, and that is going to be the volcano Chimborazo. There we can drive up with the car on a height of 4,850 meters, walk up another 150 meters height, we're gonna make 5,000. Yeah, man! Now we hope the weather is more or less stable. You never know, in that height the weather changes like flop, and you get from nice sunny weather to cold and snow, everything very fast. The GPS actually guided us down into the valley through the big cities, but we prefer to take the small roads here through the mountains. And it's somehow amazing, you know, since we are in Ecuador, it is completely normal to drive around above 4,000 meters height. As now here, that road, 4,100 meters above sea level. It's amazing. What landscapes up here. We clearly underestimated this way we choose here to the Chimborazo. We had no idea that this is rough mountain roads for hours and hours and hours and hours. And they are so winding roads, we can see an hour ago we've been just over there at another mountain. It's incredible. So, to be honest, we have no idea where we end up tonight, because here is absolutely no infrastructure and wild camping. I hesitate a bit to do some wild camping here. Besides that, there is no space. There's just extremely steep mountains everywhere. I don't know. Let's see where we end up. So, as if it couldn't get worse, here we are stuck now. The road is blocked, they are working on it. I guess that takes hours. Maybe we have to stay here overnight. Yeah, man. After this hard day, that's what we deserve. Pizza con salami and ensalada. This is Salinas de Bolívar, a cozy little village high up in the Andes Mountains. That's where we end up that day. It could have been worse. Here they produce chocolate, cheese, and they have super yummy pizzas. So we decided to hang out a day here. Now this here gave the name to that village. Las Salinas, the salt mine. We're going to have a look now. Walking a little uphill. You notice the height. Salinas de Bolívar, nearly 4,000 meters above sea level.
Take it easy, go slow.
Yeah, man. And even then, no breath. So that's what it is about. A fountain with salty water. Salty. Yeah, here you can see how the salt crystallizes. So, that's it about the salt mine of Salinas de Bolívar. Here we have it. That's all you need to know. Now, that's true. But here in Salinas de Bolívar is another nice story. Here, the Swiss Joseph Dubach, an employee of the Swiss government in the development aid, he opened in here a cheese shop. He taught the people how to produce cheese, and in his life he opened it in all Ecuador, more than 100 cheeseries. Cheese shops. And man, that cheese is dope. That is really good. So, as they have here good cheese and they know about bread, you know what they do? Good pizzas. That's what we go for now. Yeah, man. Interesante, pero acá lo están hirviendo.
Sí, hirviendo y al final tenemos la sal así.
Sí. Es lo mismo que venden acá arriba en el negocio, ¿no? Es muy puro.
Esa es la sal pura.
Here we are visiting the museum of Salinas de Bolívar. Very interesting. There was an Italian priest who helped them and organized themselves and making some products with that salt and sell it as a community. And another one who was active here in Salinas, José Dubach, Swiss, actually Joseph Dubach, and he introduced here cheese making. different traditional instruments. And also nice detail, the museum is founded by that Italian priest. Here, that's how Salinas looked like. And the people came here to help. Extreme poverty. Here on that wall, they honor people here, José Rivas. Since 1978 he lived here, when that village looked like that. Big teacher of cheese making, but above all, big teacher of life. Now they honor him here. Here, interesting, the molds to make salt cakes. Man, that's what I call a successful day. An interesting sightseeing in a little village, and now pizza. We are already on a height of 4,300 meters above sea level, and the road is going to wind up to 4,850. A full day we stay in the beautiful village Salinas and visit that community. Man, that was super interesting to see that there is this small museum which we visited, and that shows the nice history of how a community can develop into the modernity. In the 70s, when that Italian padre came to it, wow, that was such incredible poverty there. Child mortality 45%. No, they didn't have enough to eat. That was incredible, the poverty, indescribable. And the padre showed them how to organize themselves, start to make products with that salt, and then later on that Swiss joined also that village, and they really build up an economy so that this village nowadays it is blooming. And something I didn't knew about, up here in those lands, this is indigenous land, and with the constitution from, I think was 2008, they have quite some autonomy here, including their own justice. So that also explains from the last episode, you might remember, when we were at the Cuicocha, ladrón cogido será quemado. They don't think well of thieves here, and if a thief gets caught here under the indigenous law, might cost him his life, you know. That's their own law. Therefore, it is quite safe up here, especially in that village Salinas. You don't have to worry about anything there. I regard it as safe. Here we are now driving up the road to the Refugio of the Chimborazo. The road is a bit rough and a bit busy. It is Saturday, so quite some people come up here and enjoy the mountain, of course. We try to reach a height of 5,000 meters, as we already said. That road. And that would be a record of this trip so far. Let's see if we can manage to get up there. It's only 150 meters height up, but as we saw on the Cotopaxi, that can be already quite challenging. Luckily the weather is good. We nearly can see up there, there is the peak of the Chimborazo, nearly 6,300 meters high. So already now here we have reached a height of 4,700 meters above sea level. For the cruiser, that is now record height. I've never been so high with that car. And how does it perform? I mean, it's a diesel without turbo. Well, okay, I drive it up in low gears. Low gear 3, sometimes low gear 4. In steep curves, I have to use low gear 2. But we get up there, no doubt. No doubt, man. It's quite busy today, but most people just come to the Monumento for Simón Bolívar. Further up it gets lonely already. Good. 4,920 meters, got a heart rate like a colibri, man.
Colibri.
We just crossed 5,000 meters height. I tell you, every 10 meters up is a fight. But it's worth. Never been so high in my whole life, man. Okay, we did it. 5,040 meters above sea level. Congratulations, man. Never been that high in my entire life. Absolutely record. Means we are absolutely high. Despite the height record, we decided to go a little further up. There is the Laguna Cuicocha. And we want to see, but I think that is enough. This is now the Laguna Cuicocha. Although to call that Laguna is quite flattered. More or less un charco. But here we are now in an altitude of 5,100 meters. That is really enough. That's incredible, huh? We are on 5,100 meters, and from here it just all goes up to the peak. While this here, what we see, is not yet the peak. Whoa. Actually, we could camp here on the parking lot of the Refugio of the Chimborazo, but 4,850 meters, then it's gonna be freaking cold at night. Down in the visitor center, they told us, yeah, if you're lucky, you have 2-3 degrees, but it can be 15 below zero. No. And on that height, might be difficult to start the heater. So we try to lose some height now. We also can stay down at the visitor center, but this is still 4,350, which is a little bit better, maybe 5 degrees warmer, but then that's it. Oh, let's see. First you have to get down again. But that was an awesome experience climbing up there, isn't it? Huh?
You have to go slow.
Very slow up, yeah. And it was not that steep like the Cotopaxi. Maybe the weather also a little bit better.
I have the feeling that it's easier than Cotopaxi.
Yeah. Although it's higher, isn't it? This here is Cuenca in the south of Ecuador and the third largest city in the country. Cuenca is famous for its Spanish colonial architecture. We are going to see that tomorrow. Today we haven't done anything, just kick up the feet, stay cool, and now in the evening we had a walk along that river here.
A bit harder. Harder, no, go higher.
Cuenca. Officially, Santa Ana de los Rios de Cuenca is a city that really amazes us. It was founded in the year 1557 on the ruins of the Inca city of Tomebamba, and it has been locally called Cuenca of the Andes or Athens of Ecuador for its architecture, its cultural diversity, its contribution to Ecuadorian arts, science and literature. But what really amazes us, it is a clean, well-organized and beautiful city, really worth to visit. Today we prepared bramata with some seafood on a tomato sauce.
It's so delicious.
Yeah man, bramata is a recipe, traditional recipe from the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland, Ticino. Oh man. This is the Cajas National Park in the south of Ecuador. What a landscape, man, super beautiful, but it is freaking cold up here. Snowflakes in the air. Well, okay, no wonder we are here in a height of about 4,000 meters.
Yeah.
We plan to sleep up here, but Not sure about that. Maybe we drive back to Cuenca and sleep there. Let's see. So after hanging around a week in Cuenca, we are on the move again. Actually, we didn't plan to hang around that long in Cuenca, but man, is that a cozy city. And the camping we stayed is also super cozy with that park beside along the river. Can have a walk after the meals. That is simply a very beautiful place. Once we are getting old, maybe we settle there. Let's see. This last night we have spent at the archaeological site Santa Ana la Florida. Man, that was interesting. It's a small site, but very important one.
¿De qué? De cacao. Los análisis paleobotánicos dieron como positivo que aquí se tomó almidones de maíz.
The guy there, because Julio explained the whole thing. He is the archaeologist which started all that project and maintains it till nowadays. And man, that's interesting because that is the oldest ever evidence of use of cacao.
¿Qué nos están diciendo? Mira, donde vive esta concha, del hábitat de esta concha, de ahí salimos, de ahí somos, de ahí emergimos, de ahí brotamos. Eso es lo que está diciendo.
There was people living about 5,500 years ago, and they came up from the coast of Ecuador and settled there in those mountains. And beside the housings, they also found the graveyard. They digged out skeletons there, and they found beside the skeleton of a priest a bottle, a flask, which still had some cacao inside. With the radiocarbon method, they dated that 5,500 years old. Amazing, you know.
¿Ya? Y aquí le puedes ver.
Sí.
¿Ves que la frente, mira dónde tiene la parte de la frente?
Sí, increíble, ¿no?
Increíble, claro.
So, nowadays they claim, if it is true or not, you never know with science, but they claim this is the origin of cacao. Well, okay. Fact is, this is the origin of cacao until they find an older evidence. That's how it is with science. But so far, this is the origin of cacao. Man, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Here we are now on the last kilometers in Ecuador. The border is just about 11 kilometers down that road. A rough mountain trek. Some small little villages on the way, but then that's it. That's really more or less in the nowhere. But now we are looking forward to a new country, Peru.
Seems to be.
Ah, bueno, ¿dónde está la inmigración? Atrás, ya lo pasamos. Gracias. So that's the international bridge to Peru.